I'm David, and I make the beers here at Hinder, and we are introducing or reintroducing our Wee Heavy Hinder Scotch Ale. Wee Heavy Hinder started out as a project of utility. It was my first time making beer on the Hinder system, and I kind of have a rule where the first brew on any new system should be some kind of Scottish ale. And the reason is it's a style with a lot of leeway. You can have a few things go wrong and still get a good beer that tastes more or less the way it's supposed to. Then we took a look at the inventory and decided, well, we really need to make some of our best-selling amber first because we're going to run out. Somehow or another, the project got modified to do let's do a Wee Heavy, which is a type of Scotch ale. These Scotch ales are kind of all different strengths of a similar style, which is these amber to brown beers with very little hop content, and so they come across as a little bit sweet because of the lack of hops. And then they're just kind of broken down by the style people into weaker and stronger versions. And the Wee Heavy is the extra strong, super strong version, up in the 8, 9, 10+% alcohol range. It's going to have some kind of pale ale base malt usually, maybe a little bit of caramel malt. I feel it needs a tiny bit of roasted barley to be a Scotch ale. The idea is to get a big pile of malt where you get a lot of malt flavor, but not have it get to be sticky sweet. You want it to still be balanced, and you want a complete fermentation, which was definitely achieved here. Wee Heavies are going to usually have a little bit of like ripe fruit character that is actually derived from some of the malts that are used. It'll almost be like plums or something. And because they're ales, you might get a little bit of fruity esters from the yeast as well jumping in there. That would be kind of what would differentiate it from some other strong malty styles. Well, long story short, we ended up winning a medal for it at Great American Beer Festival. It's really a big thing, and it's with all those entries, it's fairly exciting to get a medal in there because not a lot of people do it, and a lot of really great beers don't get medals. And I was really excited. I was jumping around the room. I was really fired up about it. It was great. It was a lot of fun, and to get it for a beer that we kind of did on a whim, as the second beer I ever made on this system was pretty cool. These barrels contain the Wee Heavy Hinder. Before they had Wee Heavy Hinder in them, they had maple syrup in them. And before they had maple syrup in them, they had bourbon in them. So we're going to let this sit for a while. And by a while, I mean, minimum of a year, maybe longer. And we're going to see how that beer tastes after it sits in maple syrup bourbon barrels for a while. Don't just grab a Hinder, grab a Wee Heavy Hinder. Cheers.